most of the scams do. There are real hotbeds throughout the world that this is really what most of these people do for a living. They're very good at it. So what folks need to do, protect your information. Be very vigilant in protecting your Social Security card. Now, I know we've spoken about it before, but it's a big problem with men in particular of carrying their Social Security cards in their wallets with them. I don't know about you, Bob. I've never been asked to produce that card to anyone.
Right.
And most of us have that information memorized, in our brains.
As soon as you go to college, when it's on every form, and you got to fill out 7,000, that's when I memorize mine.
Right. Exactly. Myself as well. So you need to protect that information as best you can.
Mm-hmm.
Don't give it out to anyone who's calling, emailing you for any reason, unless you are absolutely certain that this is legitimate. And there's usually, if you initiate the call, I don't mean making a return call to someone you got a message from on your answering machine or voicemail, but you're calling maybe your doctor's office, things like that, where you know for a fact that who you are talking to is legitimate.
And that's a big thing too, isn't it? You get a request from, maybe get an email saying something, and then call this number, and then that number is directed to someone who's looking to get your information.
Absolutely, it happens constantly. Now, another form we've seen, and we've put the warnings out for the past several months. We call it the IRS scam, where you'll receive a telephone call from someone claiming to be an IRS agent or a police officer on behalf of the IRS, saying that you owe tax money and you need to pay it immediately or you will be arrested. Know that the IRS or the police departments anywhere are not going to call you for something like that. If you get a call from anyone claiming to be IRS or law enforcement telling you you have a tax issue that needs to be addressed right now, hang up immediately. Don't engage them in any conversation, because I'll warn you, these folks are extremely, extremely talented in what they do as far as convincing you that they are legitimate. Hang right up on them, and folks who may have elderly parents or grandparents living alone or who may not be aware, let them know if they get a call to hang up. We see this really with any age demographics, but in particular our senior population is heavily targeted with that scam.
Now, if we find ourselves getting one of these calls or an email, is this something we should report to the police department, or what should we do? Obviously, you just said don't engage them on the phone, but what should we do if we've been targeted?
What I would recommend is that you do contact us. Now, it may not generate an investigation if you have not been, if they weren't successful in getting your money.
Mm-hmm.
However, we like to know. It gives us a kind of a barometer of how active these scams are in our area. So give us a call, and I'll tell you, Bob, I know in my office I get probably 5-6 calls a week, sometimes more, of people doing just that said, hey, this is what happened. I received a telephone call. Maybe it was IRS. Maybe it was one of the many other scams that are out there. And I hung up, but I want to let you guys know that, hey, this one's here again.
And obviously, if it's hitting one person in the area, chances are they're targeting the area and they're looking for more.
Right. And like most things, you'll see this in New York, California, the big states with huge populations. But it's not unique to our states. It's across the country.
So those are the big two. Are there any other ones that are around the tax or the IRS?
Yeah, there are many of them. When you go to get your taxes done, maybe you've encountered. I know I have. Hey, a buddy of mine's wife does taxes on the side, real cheap.
Yep.
Find someone who is reputable, who has a proven track record, and is going to give you a copy of the returns of all the paperwork that you need. Ensure that who you are dealing with in preparing your tax returns, that they are legitimate and not someone who's going to connive you and tell you false information to lead you to believe you're going to get a much larger tax return, when in fact they are more than likely going to siphon more money from you. So that's another one we have to warn people about constantly, and let them know that this does happen. Don't trust the unknown.